and the theme today shall be creative expression, speech, abundance, and healing. So a lot of people are asking and commenting that right now there's so much discord in the world, so much strife in the world, so much anger in the world, so much hostility in the world, so much violence in the world, so much social injustice, economic injustice. So why am I bothering to talk about the anatomy of experience? Why am I bothering about talking about the true self? Why am I bothering about knowing fundamental reality as the self? And the reason, my friends, is I do believe very honestly that if you knew the magnificence of your true self, it would be impossible for you to hurt another person, and ultimately it would be impossible for you to be hurt either. Once again, if you knew the magnificence of your true self, it would be impossible for you to be hurt or hurt another person. That's why we need to understand the anatomy of experience. And today's theme is creative expression. Also is how to create abundance through speech and how to heal with the fifth center of awareness as our creative outlet for expression. So before I even go there today, I would also suggest that you go back and see the thread that we're on, anatomy of experience, and check out the previous threads also. How to deal with existential anxiety, the fear of death, understanding the mystery of existence through the meaning of death, on and on. So as we explore these centers of awareness, we can take a top-down approach or we can take a bottom-up approach. And these are metaphors, because in awareness there's no top, there's no bottom, there's just shifting states. And each of these centers of awareness is a shifting state of being. And these states of being are expressed as qualia, qualities of awareness. We use the metaphor of chakras for the centers of awareness that are associated with particular motifs and themes and the entanglement of that which is known. So in any experience, there are three components, okay? There's the knower, which is the self, modified self. There's knowing, the activity of knowing, okay? And then there's that which is known. What is known is an entanglement of qualia that embodies certain themes, certain motifs, certain entangled stories that we call objects of experience. So if you take a bottom-up approach, moving from the most dense qualities of knowing to the most subtle qualities of knowing, this is what we're doing in this series, okay? We start with the densest quality of knowing, which is smell, which gives us the experience of solid matter. Then we went to the second mode of knowing, which is which is taste, which gives us access to the liquid nature of existence. And then we have sound, which gives us access to, or hearing, which is the activity, the mode of knowing, which gives us access to the vibratory quality of existence. And then we move from there to touch or sensation, which gives us literally a sensory or sensual quality of experience, but it also means inner touch, inner sensations, being aware of the sensations in your body. That's a mode of knowing, and we can call that subtle touch. And then there is seeing. Seeing gives us the experience of forms and shapes and colors that we call objects of experience visually. And then, of course, I mentioned hearing, which is the vibratory quality of experience that we experience as sound, both gross and subtle. But then we can go deeper into modes of knowing, such as feeling, such as imagining, such as thinking, such as reflecting, and ultimately the level of pure being. That's one way to approach which we're doing here. Another way to understand this is what could be called a top-down approach, from the unmanifest to the manifest. So the highest form of knowing would be silence. In pure silence, there is pure knowing. There's also pure creativity. There is also pure love. There is pure understanding. There is the synchronistic knowing of the entanglement of experience in silence. Then the second subtle form of knowing would be feeling your way. Feel, sensation, but subtle sensation. The third form of knowing would be reflecting, thinking. The fourth form of knowing would be observing a speech, which is something I'm going to talk about today a little bit. And then the next form of knowing after speech would be sensory perception. So in this case, you would start with the opposite approach. You would start with knowing through hearing, and then knowing through touching, and then knowing through seeing, and then knowing through tasting, and knowing through smelling. So this approach is from unmanifest to manifest. The previous approach I mentioned is from manifest to unmanifest. Okay, so today we talk about the fifth center of awareness, Vishuddha Chakra, center of expression, creative expression, center of speech, center of abundance, center of healing, but also embodying associations such as sound and purification and vibration and expression and self of the self as vibration, literally. And so many of the associations of this chakra are actually associated with whatever happens in this area, okay? Whatever happens in this area, the vibratory qualities of this area. The related asanas are movements of this area. These are the related asanas. The mudra can be something like this, okay, with your hands on your lap. Remember, the mudra is the seal that embodies the whole ritual. go back to basics. Yantra, mantra, tantra. Yantra is the instrument, and in this case, the instrument is the Vishuddha Chakra, blue in color. Yantra. Somewhere here, blue, the wheel. Blue could be this blue or any other blue. So many shades of blue, all bringing you to the experience of calmness. Okay, so this is the location, this is the color. The yantra, the instrument, is the Vishuddha Chakra. You can find this online, diagrams of it. The Bij mantra is hum, hum, hum. The tattva is that which is known. The element that is known is everything that exists in space as vibration. Everything that exists in space as vibration. So that would be our tattva. Yantra, mantra, tantra, mudra, asana, all in order to activate this particular center of awareness. When this center is not in harmony or integrated with the other centers of awareness, then you can experience some discomfort here, chronic sore throat, sometimes loss of expression, verbal speech, people who grind their teeth a lot or have TMJ, the center is out of balance. Okay? So this is the explanation of the fifth center, which is the center of creative expression. And because there's so much discord in the world right now, this actually center is very important because we need to create a vibration of healing in every creative expression of our true self, in every creative. Remember, healing, wholeness, health, all embody the totality of experience, which we call mind, body, spirit, world, but it's basically awareness having experience through modalities of experience that embody certain themes, motifs, stories, and the entanglement of sensations, images, perceptions, and feelings, and images, and thoughts. All of that is the motif, what we call the tattva, really. In this infinite space is the modification of experience that we know as an aspect of ourselves. Okay. Every object that you see is an object of ourselves. Every object that you see is a symbolic representation of the self. Every experience is a symbolic representation of the self. Why? Because where does experience happen? In the self. Experience is known in the self. Experience occurs in the self. And ultimately, experience is made out of the self through a mode of knowing. Okay, and that mode of knowing I've just said: silence, feeling, thought, speech, hearing, sensing, touching, tasting, smelling, reflecting. These are all modes of knowing. And they give us different symbolic representations of our own self. When we know this, that all experience is entanglement of aspects of the self, qualities of the self, qualia, then those qualities are expressed as objects of knowing. Shailendra Virani says, what's the Gyanendra of today? The Jnanendra of today is hearing. Therefore, the object of hearing is sound, and sound is vibration. So, the Jnanendra is hearing. That which is known is vibration, which accompanies the motifs, themes I'm speaking of. So I mentioned speech here. Speech is very interesting because speech is the manifest representation of thought. And actually thought in Sanskrit goes through 4 phases. One is called para, which means the thought is there, but it's totally unmanifest. It's incubating. And then there's pashanti. The thought starts to move from the unmanifest towards the manifest. Pashanti. Madhyama, you hear the thought. Vaikari, you speak it and you act it out in the world. So we can see that at a very subtle level, thought or intention precedes speech. Knowing this is a big advantage, because before you speak, you can observe your intention to speak. And you can ask yourself, what is the intention behind the speech? Is it necessary? A lot of times what we say is not necessary. Is it helpful? If what I say is going to help another person, or is it going to demean them or make them feel hurt? Is it healing? Does it evoke the experience of gratitude and abundance? If I ask myself these questions before I speak and get into the habit of observing the thought before it's articulated, in other words, as it moves from the unmanifest to the manifest, then my speech will always be healing. And this is something we need today so desperately, right? It is speech that can be hurtful, that can lead to hurtful behavior and hurtful actions. Speech that is healing, that evokes gratitude, that evokes the knowing of unlimited abundance, affluence, that evokes joy, that evokes the desire to heal, that evokes compassion, empathy, joy. That speech could change every experience in existence. Because existence is just that. Modulation of awareness into experience that we call reality, that we call mind, body, the world. Okay, so once again, Vishuddha Chakra, purifying, the color blue, all aspects of calmness, creative expression, speech that is nourishing and healing, and you start to create affluence, abundance. You start to experience timeless being, affluence, abundance, immortality, holiness, wholeness, healing, enlightenment, being one with the light of being, the ultimate light of being, the magnificent level of reality from which everything is modified as experience. Okay, so why don't we do a short ritual? Remember, yantra, the instrument, Vishuddha Chakra, mantra, hum, and tantra, the ritual, which encapsulates everything all at once. Okay. So keep your eyes open, be engulfed in the space of awareness, which is infinite and which engulfs you and me and our mind and our perceptions and our thoughts and our images and our reality. This infinite space of consciousness, Chitakash. Be aware of that. Keep your eyes soft. Bring your awareness to this center of awareness. envision the color blue, and the wheel of awareness is the yantra, the Vishuddha chakra. Take a deep breath in. Always breathe through the abdomen. So when you breathe in, your diaphragm moves out, abdomen moves, navel moves out. So take a deep breath, and as you exhale, visualizing the color blue, the sound, the mantra. Feel the vibration here, feel the vibration here, feel the vibration in the sinuses. So this chakra can be activated through the entanglement of the color blue, the yantra, the mantra, the mudra. This is the mudra, with your hands on the lap. And what you're doing is, you're using neuroassociative conditioning to evoke a particular vibration that is connected to creative expression, speech, abundance, and healing. By the way, this is also the role of chanting. So the word enchantment means to become one with the universal self through chanting. Enchantment is the magic that happens when you're suddenly thrown into timeless now through chanting. Gregorian chants, Sanskrit chants, Arabic chants, the 99 names of Allah, the 1,000 names of Vishnu, the mantras, the Mahavakyas, the breathing, all go together. This is the vibration of creative expression, speech, abundance, and healing. And the themes: affluence, abundance, immortality, timeless being, the flow of truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, the only way to heal, not through ideological confrontation or political confrontation or power-mongering or cronyism or corruption or influence peddling, all signs of lack of knowledge of the magnificence of our true being. So when you are in touch with your true self, once again, it becomes impossible to hurt, and ultimately impossible to be hurt, because you're the embodiment of creative expression, creative speech, abundance, and healing. This is what we need, my friends, right now, a critical mass of us who are going through this transformation and opening up our centers of awareness. So be well, and this is just today's Hope Eva says, chakra just opened. Wow. Lisa says, word of the day, enchantment. Chanting, vibration, and oneness with ultimate reality, the true self. The self of the self. The self of the individual, but also the self of the universe. So I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we should all be getting entangled in this whole process of healing, which we so desperately need at this moment. Thank you, my friends.